operational. It's all
I
operational.
just reloaded Twitch and it's fine.
Yeah.
Bloop.
Okay, we're back apparently. Okay, well, we're fine apparently.
And we're back. My Twitch is loading pretty slowly.
That's what the stream looks like apparently.
Okay, that's fine. The errors have gone now, but you literally had stopped downloading. So that's weird. It doesn't normally get that upset, but that was a little bit too coincidental.
Back. Thank you for the house checks, book.
Thank you.
Just download that for me and I'll play that tomorrow morning though, before I go to work.
Sure.
Also, that gelatin is about to break its freaking leg.
Yeah, because it's in the middle of moving.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
The distant sound of Spoon bothering Sadie.
Meh.
Hello. Beans. Beans.
Beans.
No. Beans. Oh, don't be mean.
You're going to be a noise, aren't you?
Yes.
You're going to be a big noise.
Yes.
Oh, we didn't clip her claws.
Oh, we forgot. You have escaped this for today. Stop bothering her.
Bothering you. Come on, they said you can have my chair.
Chair!
She seemed quite confident actually. She wasn't struggling at all. You guys say
Nah.
try and fill the balls full before you go to sleep.
I always do. I don't know what I was trying with this, but it didn't work.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I don't like the colours.
I like the edge lighting on it. You know what? It's a warm up. It's after 9 p.m. Move on.
Oh, it sure is. It sure is. Fuck.
You can leave it.
Ugh.
take a cheeky early BRB.
Go for it.
Be like,
Hunting for references. Can't find the thing. Where did I put it? Core, another health check. Goodness. I'm gonna have to go for a top up soon. Oh, thank you, Core. Ow! No, why must you bother me so? They are both good. Mwah. Nice.
Night, girls.
I might be out when we get back tomorrow because of Mum and Dad coming there. Because they think we're going to go out and go somewhere. Just so you're aware if you come home and wonder where the heck I am. Mum hasn't specified a time, so I don't know if it'll be a morning thing and we'll be done or we'll still be up by the time you're home. No idea. Thank you. I'm on G. I'm on real G, not. That's better. I wondered why this wasn't behaving the way I wanted it to. Let's put up barriers to keep oneself intact. Gilded cage. The universal dream for those who wish to see. Those who wish to be must put aside the alienation. Get on with the fascination. Real relation.
Prey returned.
Prey returned.
Busy bopping.
Yep.
Oh, camera.
Yes, Sadie. Many grumbles.
We're back. We're more comf now.
Hell yeah.
Decided it is big comf hours.
Core appeared and he had another health check to give us.
I saw. This is why I actually went down and filmed my wall battle.
See, I need to film mine, but I was waiting for you to come back so I wouldn't leave the stream unattended. So now
Someone
it is
has to be watching them.
now it is my turn for a break. So I'm gonna
Yeah, go.
bit bio break in, top up of the drink. Stretching of the legs.
Yeah.
That anybody who has been sat down for several hours should probably stretch their legs as well.
Yeah.
catch you guys in a sec.
Not being not healthy, it just happens. I want to drink not caffeine coffee. Okay. I did actually write. Yes, this is what I was going to check. Did actually write a to-do list, which I definitely needed because I was just staring at it, going, "A lot that needs to be done here." That sure is a lot of things that need doing. Ooh, big yawn. Big yawn. Ooh, I need the book. Always a good sign. What the fuck is this? Keep an eye on you, chat, considering that was my job, huh? I've been lurking, TM. Hello, frog. Hello, hello. There are the quicker ways for me to have done this. Ba, 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 ba. Alright.
Love, I get so lost sometimes. Days pass, and this emptiness fills my heart.
Big yawns out of me today. Sleepy.
When I want to run,
Big time sleepy, but also very busy.
I drive off in my car.
Don't know what to listen to.
I come back to the place you are.
Don't know what to listen to.
All my instincts, they return. And the grand facade, so soon
Character I haven't even finished making for
without a
literally no reason, just no see.
without
And I've already made a playlist.
I reach out from the inside. In your eyes, the light, the heat in your eyes. I am complete in your eyes. I see the doorways of 1,000 churches. The resolution of all the fruitless searches.
has left the room, undoubtedly to go be a mischief. So in before I have to leave again to deal with whatever mischief she is
Deal
doing.
with said mischief, yep. Sometimes doing stuff like this is fun because it's like, oh, that would be a good idea. Well, that would be good. And you realise you actually have to run it. So, oh god, that's a lot of things.
It's always a different matter.
Accepting all I've done and said, I want to stand and stare again till there's nothing left, and oh, it remains there in your eyes. Whatever comes and goes, I will hear your silent cry. I will touch this tender wall till I know I'm home again. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Say you don't know me or recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Knee deep in the hoopla, sinking in your fight. Too many
Incredible, I've already got distracted.
eating up the night.
Doing this for like 30 seconds.
Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city.
Today on What Fucking Layer.
Well,
Yo, check that out!
lovely. Have a frog update?
Astounding.
Look at that.
Redonk.
You have a walk at the light of the crystal. Those kids. Watching you nerds do the Warrior of Light OC thing on Twitter. They're children.
I did not do that because I do not have answers to pretty much any of those questions.
Make them up. Some of them. We wouldn't get to the ones that I didn't have answers for. Like the first, yeah. It's like 15 are pretty simple. I find the question, it makes me laugh because I realize there's a big section of the community that have OCs that aren't the Warrior of Light. Because there's a question on here that's how do they make a living? I'm like, I'm the Warrior of Light.
There's a Warrior of Light.
Professionally, I'm the Warrior of Light. And I remember there's like a huge section of the community who have OCs that are not. They're in the universe, but are not Warrior of Light. Because the first ones are like, what is their name? It's like, I can do that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that stuff's easy.
Name, race, main class, striking feature, age. D. Easy boys. What part of this painting's getting attention today then, Blue? Mara?
Thinking, yeah, we're still on Mara. We've gone over to Mara for a bit. Make a
Mara
pro-
on the brain.
Yeah, made a lot of progress on her last week. So I'm thinking maybe tackling the clothing. Because that's the
Begins.
currently it's the biggest, bulkiest area that is just flat colour.
Mhm.
Because literally the only areas that are still flat colour are her dress, the skin on her arms, and the chair itself. And unfortunately, the chair suffers from being not very interesting.
Yeah, it's a chair.
It is unfortunate. It will have to be done at some point, but it is stuck in the not very interesting area right now. So currently I am mostly smoothing out the rough edges and getting them to be smoother before I opacity lock them and start applying colour.
Also what I'm
shading.
doing, but just in a more metaphorical way.
The scarf does need attention as well, actually. It's neater towards the bottom around Tala, but this upper section has been largely ignored.
Why do this? Am I gonna live to regret putting this in my game?
Potentially.
Oh, fuck it. I just had to take off the front of my clipboard, and I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Only little pages. Of areas of extraplanar quarantine.
No. As you do.
As you do. To be fair, some of these are the places that you didn't go. But I didn't know where you were gonna go, so.
That's fair. That's fair.
And
It is just
neither did you,
unfortunate
and
that
neither did anything.
it is just unfortunate due to the nature of the world, really, that I think one of the primary reasons that we didn't want to go into extraplanar quarantine is because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It
I
was.
just picked out when I look back at my notes for this area. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, like an inadvertently not well timed, much like how in my homebrew campaign before we paused it because of the pandemic, I was like, oh, there's a plague going on.
Funny how these things end up being prophetic, isn't it?
Helios.
Gift of prophecy. Yeah. Fair. None of the names of any of the areas in the cradle are good. What have we got? The Nexus. Japan quarantine. Did you guys go in these other ones? Oh no, I don't even think you looked at what these were called.
Probably not. No, I don't recall any.
I think
of
you
them.
know where Zal got teleported to.
Yeah.
That was the Royal Menagerie. The other one you didn't look at, because otherwise I feel like. Ba -ba -ba. Menace. What? express.
That's so cute.
Where's my free company? Good hell. Well, massive page of rules I'm writing for Thursday now has a massive foundation smudge on it. Where everything's stopped. I'm gonna see that massive foundation smudge on Thursday and remember this.
Yep.
Yep. Oh yeah. Da-da-da. Alright, I need to change that.
I was talking in a Pokemon chat earlier today, only for like half an hour or so. But someone in there had this cool thing that they were using, which was he said he was taking part in a Pokemon race, a bingo race. And of course, I was curious. I was like, "What do you mean bingo race?" And he was like, well, "There's this thing that someone made." Which you can sort of click to randomize, and it gives you a bingo board of stuff you need to do. And obviously, it was then a point of like everybody having this bingo board and racing against each other to see who could get bingo first. And there was random things like, you know, catch a Sandslash, catch an Arbok, but then there were things like catch a Pokemon in Lugia's room. Get a phone call from a lass. Random things like that. And I was like, that's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah.
To mix
I know
things
that
up a
on
bit.
Sam's Randomizer Nuzlocke streams, they have a Twitch plugin where every viewer gets a random bingo card of Pokemon. If they catch it, it picks it up.
That's
And if you get a line, if you get bingo, sorry, not a line. That's fucking fun to say. If you complete it, you can gift it to one of the people on the stream, and they can catch an extra Pokemon on that route.
Ooh, that's
Of course,
cool.
that makes kind of an exponential effect.
Oh, right.
It just means that, like, when they're in a game, if someone's like had a bunch of Pokemon die, everyone can gift their bingo cards to them, and they can kind of catch back up. Great, yeah. I think they found the sweet spot was like 4 or 5 Pokemon on a card. I started with 2, and that was just wasn't. It was too few. Too few. I don't know how I'm gonna do anything on Thursday other than think about it. I actually don't know. I already don't know how I'm getting through not thinking only about this. I think it's because I've got like until I get past Flight of Princes, I don't think about Oakheart too much.
Fair.
like as a DM, and the practicalities of running it. Because when I'm over Flight of Prince, because then I'm like, I've got to get into Posy Brain. Posy Brain happens, and then I have Oakheart to worry about. Yeah, saying that though, I've been thinking a lot about Oakheart recently, just not in a useful way.
I mean, mood.
In like a practical session plan kind of way, but in like a distant future plans kind of way. Just not helpful considering we might TPK on Thursday. Not that we're gonna roll initiative though.
As you keep saying.
Am I still doing this bit? Committed to this bit this hard?
That's up to you. You're the DM after all.
I'm too tired to continue this bit. Very sleepy. Fucking... Am I changing this back to this playlist, or is it changing me back to this playlist? This is actually like freaking me out now. I must be. I must be changing it back to this playlist and just forgetting.
I know it's a long way away, but at some point in October, I am going
Do this
away.
now.
So, obviously all streams, but also D&D sessions will not be a thing.
Cease.
Though, if I know me, if I find out that the place has Wi-Fi, I may attempt to do art stream again, like that one time when
Yeah, like curse our stream.
that one time. You say curse? I created Scribble.
Worked out very well. That's true. Scribble. Yeah. You know.
Scribble.
Maybe
was,
that stream was blessed actually.
Yeah, Scribble was. Well, her concept existed, but she was fully realised in that stream. So it may be a
thinking-
recreation of that, where it's this weird sort of from iPad thing. But it may well not happen because most places these days do have Wi-Fi, but whether it is good is another question.
It's streamable Wi-Fi or free Wi-Fi is a different question. Yeah, I've been thinking about them recently because obviously I'm watching a lot of Fancy High, and Riz is an inquisitive rogue. He's a detective. Fantasy High is kind of hell because there's two player characters are playing classes I really want to play.
Oof.
Riz is the Inquisitive Rogue, and then my other character that I mentioned briefly earlier is another combo I really want to play is a Divination Wizard. Play a Divination Wizard so bad.
I made a Divination Wizard and then I only got to play them for like 2 sessions. Sad.
So now I have a Divination Wizard in my back pocket. I've always wanted to play one, but I didn't know what. They were often like in my head conflated with the character that would play as a Twilight Cleric. Like I often just conflated them. But now I definitely have a separate character for Divination.
I made my Divination Wizard when I was. It was as you can guess from the fact I only played them like twice. It was basically meant to be a one shot, 2-shot kind of thing. But we were told to roll randomly race and class, And then Spook complained because he was like, but I want a multi-class. So then it went to the next extreme of like, fine, everybody has to multi-class. You're level 3, but you have to roll randomly what they both are. And Spook was like going through the stages of
Feral.
grief. He was like, but I can't min-max if it's random.
Correct.
And I
Correct.
rolled I can't remember what type of monk I picked because I think that was the level 1 I went for because we were level 3, it was a 1-2 split. So I went monk and divination wizard, and I got a gold dragonborn. But I liked the concept so much that literally the next day I bought a set of dice for them. So I have I have a set of dark blue and golden dice.
Odd. A monk with portent rolls is disgusting.
Yeah. the roleplay aspect that I went for them briefly in the 2 sessions I played them was as part of their divination thing. They kind of see dead people because it was like, again, it was a random it was like a random trait that I rolled, but I twisted it around to fit with the divination thing of like, it's not that she talks to ghosts, it's that she just sees either the past or the future and struggles to tell whether they're in the present or not. So she just sometimes talks to people who aren't there.
Oh damn.
Because she's foreseeing either somebody who was there in the past or in the future, so she'll be just like, oh, excuse me, sir, and gets no reaction. She goes, he was rude, and everyone else is like, who are you talking to? And there's just a blink for a moment, and it's like, oh, did I do it again? Struggles to recollect what is the past and
What is
present.
happening?
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
the real timeline right now? It was very, very fun to play because I didn't explain this to start
Oh
with.
yeah, of course not.
Because
Just go for it.
obviously you're not going to explain it right away. So within the first few sessions, I just kept being like, "Hello,
Hi.
sir. What do you think? Should we head this way?" And everyone's just like, "Who? What? What are you talking to me? Oh, hello."
Yeah. God, so good. What's the book that has random traits for the classes? Is it Tasha's or Tasha's?
Might be
I'm
Tasha's,
looking at
yeah.
Tasha's right now.
Yeah.
Um,
I think her character sheet's probably still in the living room because we did it here and we never throw anything away.
oh, it's not there. It's not Tasha's. It's Xanathar's.
So I could probably go find it. I remember her first name was Auralix, as in Aurum, like gold.
Oh, very nice.
Aurum. So A-U-R.
I'm very familiar. You may remember there's a place in my world called the Aurum Vein.
Ah. And then I think I used a random. I think I then used a random name generator for her surname because Dragonborn. Did I put her in Toy House? Quickly opens Toy House. Characters. Characters. Dungeons and Dragons.
I was surprised. I was
I
like
did not.
snooping at it. I'm surprised how many divination spells are not accessible for wizards. So many for clerics. There were so many that I was like, surely this isn't an option. It just. It was
And it's just not.
cleric spell.
Huh.
Just a cleric spell. Like God.
Yeah, I guess.
If I got to play her with DM, I'd be like, look, can I dip into cleric spell list, but just for divination spells? just so I have and like non-deific divination spells like augury. Because I was like, surely augury's on the wizard spell list, but it's just not. Unless they put it on there in Tasha's, because I know they can.
Yeah, I've literally just grabbed Tasha's for that reason, because I was like, they did revise a few spell lists, but somehow I feel like that wasn't put on there. Hey, Sam! It's good to see
Looking
you.
right now. I've got it. Augury's on there, yep.
They did revise it.
If it's augury, what are the divination ones? Divination! That was the other one I was like, why isn't that on the divination wizard spell list?
Somebody realised that they did a stoop.
Those are the two that I would want, and they are the two that they gave them. Of divination. I like that on the expanded spell list they put what schools things were. Thank you, someone thought about that.
That's important to note. Because that's probably why...
Divination's also a ritual spell.
Yes.
Good. But yeah, I think in my head she works well in like she would probably be in like a high political campaign.
Mm-hmm.
No fucking surprise on what her first name is, because it's me and she's a seer. Cassandra. I obviously named her Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
Cassandra Elder. Her name. I don't know what like race she would be. Maybe half elf, maybe Elandrin. I don't know. Definitely got that kind of vibe though, like slightly.
Yeah.
She has flowers growing out of her skin, like she's a little on that Fae.
Fae side, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Fae idea.
maybe there'll be like Fae stuff in the next book that's coming out.
Maybe like a Fae Hexborn or whatever it is.
But yeah,
Doesn't really
Eldrin's probably the
matter.
closest one for that choice.
Eldrin's probably, but I've already got one Eldrin.
Excuse me, when has that ever stopped anybody, Miss Tiefling?
Hey now, Flings are special. But she could be any race as long as I can like make there's certain aesthetic things that I would want.
Yeah. Yeah, for aesthetic reasons, Eldrin's probably the best choice because they are literally in the lore. Obviously everything's malleable, but in the lore of the books, they are the closest thing to
Fae
Fae.
elf.
They're the closest things to Fae.
He's seasonal elf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a little tiny bit of sprinkler energy of trickster energy.
Nice.
She's a little bit tricksy, but my head she's like got like this idea in my head that she was like I think God, this is so fairy tale. What is it with me? Of like she was disguised as like an old crone. I guess hex blood. This is just going that way, huh? And then this like noble found her and her like seer abilities, and like brought her to court as like an eccentricity. In which point she took off a cloak and she turned out to be like a beautiful young woman. Have an idea of what like her story is, but I won't say in case I get to play her one day, because it would have to be like a surprise. Yeah, I consider her to be something of like she's like very gifted with manipulating the threads of fate.
Nice.
Got like a little bit of red ribbon that she always does like cat's cradle with.
I love that aesthetic. Hence why I started getting Kika into buying yarn, because she is doing similar things.
There is 2 steps from the fairy at the start of Beauty and the Beast. I don't know what to tell you. Who do you think I am? I'm not just a mythology person. I'm also a fairy tale folklore person. But yeah, and she's always moving the strands of fate in a certain direction. Is the teaser I will get. I will give you for what her like story is in my head. She's fun. She's definitely on the fairy tale character spectrum. Yeah, God, there's so many things I would do with portent rolls. Like, I've been watching Adine from Fantasy High. Like her
Aw,
portent
Sam,
rolls are
thanks for subbing. That's so kind of you.
Eee.
Mwah. Chat, you know that we're obligated to go a woo.
Everyone better a woo.
You gotta have the woos.
The a woo.
A woo. God, I'm such a streamer.
Yeah. No, she's a fun character. She's a fun one, and she's got like, I know exactly. I've got like such a distinct visual for her in my head, but the like main thing is the cat's cradle. She's got do you know what elderflower looks like? The little like tiny clusters of like that green flower, like growing at the tops of her shoulders and up the side of her face a little bit. And she's got a white lace, like essentially like a visor that entirely covers her like eyes. They're the main highlights. The rest of it is still pretty malleable. I was kind of basing her off of, is like messing around with, I was thinking about Crown of Candy, which is a Dimension 20 show, where all the characters are based on different like foods and things. I was like, well, what could you do with that? But that was like weird. And I went to elderflower because obviously elderflower's edible. You can make drinks from it.
Yep.
Originally I was trying to make like a rose petal character because I was like that could be a weird thing, like edible flora, because you can make rose jam and stuff like that. Then I was like, I just ended up keep making essentially design-wise posy.
That's true.
So I went a different way. Yeah, I was thinking about that kind of setting. So like, they don't really have like set races in that game, as far as I can tell. It's more just from one of the nations. So you're either a sweet or a vegetable. You have to kind of structure your character around that, which is a really interesting challenge. Some of them are like humanoid things with just kind of like sweet like, details, and then some of them are straight up pieces of candy. It's crazy. Yeah, Xanathars is great for like random character details.
Oh yeah.
Hey, as someone with a player character in my game who entirely rolled this shit on here, I forgot me and Kay actually rolled way more stuff. I've got the notes for it. Rolled way more than I remembered, and it's funny to look back on now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Really?
it's all stuff like I won't say. Actually, I won't say.
Yeah, it may come up.
Share yourself a bunch of these extra books. It's worth trying to find. I do not endorse piracy. If you can find
Yo ho!
covering my ass here. If you can find previews of these books before you buy them, just make sure. I think I have definitely not regretted having Xanathars, for sure.
From a player perspective, the player-orientated books that I would recommend are Xanathars and Tasha's. Things like Mordekainen's and Volos are more DM orientated.
Yeah, I think Xanathars and Tasha's are the only ones you really.
They're the two.
You really want the monstrous races from Volos, and you want a whole book for those.
Yeah, they have got like a truck ton of lore for those races in Volos, but if you just want to play the race itself, then like the stats for them are, I believe, literally just on D&D Beyond. I think you can see them.
Just Google it. Yeah.
I think you can see them without owning the book on D&D Beyond, but I think it's one of those things where it's like if you try to click on the more information, it'll direct you to buy the book. But you can at least see the stats for them, I think.
Pick on a campaign that includes them. Yeah. Where do you go? No, I accidentally just kicked Photoshop. No!
Rip.
Yeah, Xanathars is great because it has things like the naming table, a random backstory generator. It has all of the extra classes and then also like tables to do with those classes to help you make a character with them. Like, I'll roll something for Cassandra right now. Wizard. Let's do eccentricity because I definitely have her ambition sorted. Have the books in PDF. Physical books are nice and playing at table as no phone or tablets rule at my games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you have that, then yeah. This is useful. See, this is useful for me because I tend to have a lot of things open at once. So having a thing that's not on the same screen as everything else is useful for me.
Yeah, I think generally a lot of physical games. I also have the sort of no phone rule generally. I'm not too strict in it, I'll be honest. And of course, like generally, we will also be like, oh, I need to look something up.
I'm exactly the opposite. Normally, if I'm running in real life, I normally have a laptop and a phone that I'm actively looking at.
Yeah,
so
like I'll use an iPad for notes and stuff, but I think, not just with me, but I think just some of my players as well are generally of the opinion of like, if you're on your phone, you're being a little bit rude. But I'm chill with it generally. It's just, I think it's just something that everybody sort of picked up on of like, we're playing a game, so we're not going to be on
To
phones.
some extent, it's etiquette. You know, when I was a player, I did use my phone, but I mostly used it because I had my spells in there.
Yeah.
My spell slots and stuff. As long as you're like paying attention, I don't think it's too much. But that's again, that's very like, and there are games that I want to run one day where I would absolutely be like no phones at the table, because unless you need them for something like that. Because there's sometimes you're trying to set a mood.
Yep.
The one from Van Richten's that I want to run, I would absolutely be like a stay in the room with me, buddy. No getting away from this one. Trying to set a tone.
Fair.
Yeah, I use laptop for music. I also do too. It's only come out and we're all looking up a weird rule. That's very true.
Yeah. So the when I've been playing my like it's been like 2 or 3 years since I did my homebrew game, which was the last time that I played at the table. So obviously playing online is different because you're at a screen anyway.
Yeah.
But playing at the table, there was the only situation where I had my tablet with me behind the DM screen was generally when I had a dungeon, because basically I had the Google Doc with all of the dungeon information on there, and then I also had my paper notebook where I would track like combat and what was happening in the dungeon and the session notes. But if I wasn't running a dungeon, I generally didn't have my tablet with me. I would just use my notebook.
Yeah, I like I'm too picky about my music, and I can't focus without music as a DM or as a player. So I have to have a laptop playing music. There's no way around that one.
When I was playing things IRL, the most that I did for music was we had the TV in the living room next door playing 4-hour ambient Skyrim music, and everyone
That's a good way to do it.
everyone was pretty happy with that. It was literally only until we moved on to Roll20 that it was like, oh, we can have ambient combat music and ambient forest music and ambient ocean music, and now it's kind of gotten a little bit to the point where a few people have said, like, can we always have music on? And I'm like, yeah, we can. A few years ago, you didn't care about music, but okay, I don't mind.
Yeah. I'm very picky about it, as you well know. I was playing when I ran in real life, I had like a song I used for just when they were talking, a song I used for combat. I just flicked between. Obviously with Oakheart, I'm a little bit more curative. So I have theme songs for certain characters or certain things, and then I will curate it a bit. Yeah, unfortunately for me, most of my friends who play D&D, Sam, live all over the fucking place. So I have no choice.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I've gotten used to it now.
Yeah. The people I was playing IRL with, we switched to an online game for the sake of the pandemic, obviously, and then when things started to get okay with the pandemic, it was like, well, because we were playing online, we invited a few international players to play with us. So now we can't really go back to playing at the table because those players are now part of the group and they can't play with us because they live in another country. So we are sort of I won't say stuck, but we are going to be continuing to play online until like that section of that campaign finishes, and then we will probably go back to playing at the table. Though it will be sad not to have that other person around.
That's what that is. You look up what book something's in and you're like, what? Why is it in that?
With a lot of things that I do, like for D&D, Final Fantasy, Pokemon, it's like I am very into these things, but I am also not picky. Like, I'm really heavily into Pokemon, as you guys know, but I'm not like a championship perfect IV.
Feel that, yeah.
Perfect IV, perfect moveset. Like, maybe I'll try to get a good nature. That's probably the extent of it, but not even always. I will just, often just take the nature that is given to me. So I am like that with D&D as well, of like, I really heavily enjoy the roleplay and obviously all of that, but when it comes to DMing, I'm like, I've got 5 songs, and they do what I need them to do. And I'm just happy with that.
Yeah, and honestly, as long as, like, you're in the zone, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I just love to mess with you.
I know. And every DM has their own level of whatever.
Yeah, and there are details that I just skim over because I don't bother with them so much. The other DMs are very particular about. Like, I think everyone has like 1 or 2 things that they're like, this is the thing I'm gonna fuss with, you know.
I believe it, so it's real. They could see me from a balcony. I've been sleepless in my head. Please, that they're watching me. People watching me. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Feels like they dream of me all of the time, baby.
Yes, they're watching me.
You vibing. Lord, you vibing.
Mystery Skull's got me.
Every time. That's not what I'm looking for. Maybe. Oh, thank God.
Hello everyone, it's Gabriel.
Whoop. That was a YouTube video that started playing. Enjoy that stream, a random person just going, hello everyone, before I mute it.
I feel that's. Roll a d6, sure, I've got dice out. What a 2. You'll find a lot of sympathy in here for characters you've thought long and hard about, and then rolling really mediocre stats in this channel.
My life. Yeah.
Suppose he's intelligence score. Dies. Oh, nice.
At least with when you have like things like Xanathar with things that you can roll for your character, it's like even if you're just like I'm not going to use these because I like making my own stuff up. You should at least like give it a go because you can roll something that you can either you get to roll out of just be like I definitely don't want that, or something that you're like I can tweak that.
Yeah, I think I can tweak that, or like I get what this is going for, and I can come up with a thing that's like this for the character that makes sense. I think as if you go a little further into Xanathar's, I think there's literally a table for that. Not for like specifically a shaman, but for like how meta person. 2 more d6s. Okay. Got my chest dice open, so. And all my d6s are near a top for some mysterious reason. A 6 and a 4. I don't know how all my d6s are. Oh. I'm definitely not procrastinating. Yeah, so it's like, I also think these ones are useful, that I became this class because if you have a class you want to play but you can't think of like what. Also has a tragedies table and a cause of death table, the most important thing to a D&D character's backstory.
Yep.
It's a joke. Also, yeah, I forgot the racial traits are in here.
Yeah, they're always fun as well.
The racial feats even, sorry. You know what I meant.
Yeah. Volo's monstrous races tend to include trait tables. Because obviously
Yeah.
when you're playing a monstrous race, it's like you're kind of weird in some way. How are you weird?
Yeah. 6 and a 2, I believe it was. Oh, it also has them for backgrounds. Huh. Irony. What drove you to become a murder hobo? Sure, I don't know what you mean, Des. Is that what you rolled? Very superstition. Especially if the name begins with K. I nearly started reading this out loud then. That would have been bad.
Where the
Leak my own fight mechanics.
Where the hecky did those brushes go? Into patterns?
I don't know.
Pattern? Nope, that's a scale. But they are pretty scales. Loading.
Gosh, shit, Sharpie smell. When you're just listening to a Spotify on shuffle and you just go, oh.
Pretty sure,
Listen to this song.
pretty sure you had that the other week when you were re-listening to Talis playlist.
I did. Speaking of Talis players, I'm about to send you a song.
Oh!
Actually, a song I really like.
I can't listen to it while I'm streaming, unfortunately.
Oh, but I'm just having it so that it's Discord messages. She really loved the second part of this song. But 100, you say? I don't know if you're asking me to roll these at this point, but I will roll them.
Might as well be you, because you're the one who's got the dice handy.
91. And then 2d6. Really not trying to distract you from Okart prep. I mean, be my fucking guest. Save me from distracting myself from Okart prep. What did you say? D10 and then 2d6. Also, it's nice to roll physical dice for a reason. Just for stimming. You a 10? 5 on the d10, and then a 1 on the d6, and then a 2 on the d6. And then a d4. Oh, I keep losing my d4s. And a 1 on the d4. And another d4? Okay. A 2d6, it was a 1 and a 2. And it was a 1 on the absent parent. A d4 plus 1 for siblings? It's a 4 then. Really, kudos to you for trying to draw this bodice.
It's there, it's there.
Yeah, impressed.
It's the magic of brushes.
I mean, honestly, it's not an easy. If you're looking at the one I think you are on the Pinterest board, it's not an easy design to do.
But it was apparently the one I picked because I guess I hate myself.
I mean, all of them are difficult because it's Mara. She has a very specific style. Yeah, I'm looking at the board right now. None of these would be easy to do. D12. Rolls D12s.
Barbarians, ironically.
I'm literally about to make that joke. I was on the way there. Good job. I rolled a 1. I have a D12s are probably actually the dice I still have the most of, because I never take them out. So I haven't had a chance to lose them. That's a 4, a 5, and a 6. And cause of death.
Unknown.
Terrific.
Cool, now you have a motive. I need to find out what happened. What happened? Excuse me. You wanna know what's fun about the color of this embroidery?
Go on.
I picked it from Tala's fur.
Eee. Love to see it. Aw, he's a social boy.
Aw, friendly.
Friendly boy. See you, Sam.
Hi Sam, thanks for dropping by. Thank you again for the sub. It's very sweet of you. Mwah.
So it's fine. Randall Sharon, roll.
I mean, your background is that you worked for a white dragon, so what does that go under? Does that go under soldier, technically?
If there's their parent, then it could.
Well, it's whether they was their parent or if you were... If you said that, yes, they were your parent, but you also worked for them.
A 10. The thing is, dragons can kind of be anything. You can be a if your parent slash or you're working for a dragon, you can be a noble.
That's true.
Anything. Dragons can be anything.
I find these days with backgrounds, if I am going to use the D&D ones, I don't look at a specific one. I literally go to a website that just has all of the traits listed, and I just cherry pick.
Yeah.
I don't just go...
Honestly, like, going forward with either new characters in the games that I play, or if I do a new campaign or whatever, I'm gonna be like, don't worry about background, we'll just go through and pick, like, a special thing that you have and then an ability.
Yeah. Pretty much, there's like themes throughout all of them. Basically, it's an ability, 1 or 2 languages, and then 2 or 3 skills, and that's kind of it. So that's kind of what I do, is that I go through and I'm like, which skills do I want, and then I just pick traits from whichever ones I like.
Honestly, I think if I did like way more campaigns in Amazius, I would make backgrounds based on country.
Mhm.
Just have that be your background. Is you are from this place, and have like a special. And then if you're nomadic, you can pick
Yeah.
from whatever.
Spook's one was cool, which was literally he basically sort of pseudo did it how I did it, but he did it more. He did it better and well thought out, which was he scrapped
Spook.
he scrapped D&D's background thing altogether. Like he wasn't interested. He's not interested in your traits or your thing or whatever. He's like, you know,
Yeah.
if you're a role player, just pick. You know, make something up. It doesn't matter. But numbers wise, he was like, you have a pool of 6 points, and it's basically if you pick a skill or a language or a proficiency, that's a point, and you can just divvy them up how you want. He was like,
Makes sense.
don't bother with the features and
Didn't-
traits thing, just roleplay it. She's me, I'm yawning a lot.
He yawns. We can wrap a bit early tonight. I'm pretty shattered, to be honest.
Fair enough. I suppose we could wrap it up soon then. Do a few
I
more.
mean, it's not a huge amount early. We can only wrap up in like 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah, that's true. We'll just do a few.
We can go to
might do a
another
few
5 minutes or so.
tidbits.
Okay, I will finish this last bit. Is that what? Ow! Folk heroes, I think folk heroes always safe for a D&D character.
Yeah, it's a very D&D thing.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
I feel like it's one of the default ones, which is up there with Outlander, which is basically just I am
Yeah.
a person of nature. And you just pick the Outlander background.
Glory was folk hero because that just made like being like the champion of the little town that you're from.
Funny enough, Kirok was Outlander.
Hey,
Living feral for a few months because everybody died.
I didn't think folk horror. I think Glory's was folk hero just because none of the others fit. for the most part, because I think I remember having a toss up because Soldier fit her like aesthetically, but not her story. I was like, folk hero is the closest. It's back when I didn't have any of the like ground about her being a shithead teenager. So Posey, when Glory was just heroic. There was nothing else to her. My head. I'm looking for, right. I think Xanthar's like I think the random like background and stuff would be great if like a character died and you know what like I don't know if I can come up with something different than what like when you get very stuck in the old thing.
Yeah.
I can see that being super useful. Being like I don't really know. I kind of know what class I want to play and what race, but I can't think too much about this story, so I'm just gonna roll some stuff.
As you said earlier, it's easy even if it's like you don't like what you rolled. It's like, well,
Yeah, you really don't like it.
Yeah, it's like,
the
well,
coin flip
you've
effect.
narrowed it down, so now you can go from there. If you think, well, I definitely don't want it to be that, then you go, okay, well, what's the opposite of that?
Yeah. What is it about that you don't like? Yeah. That's what I want.
It's like the old can't make a choice, flip a coin.
Coin.
And if you don't like the answer that you get, then clearly you need to pick the other one.
But yeah. Me and my brother have just sat down with Xanathars before and just like rolled random people. It can get really crazy really fast.
Yeah, we did that with some of our Blood and Sand 2 characters, even though when we sat down to do it, I was kind of like, I already know what I'm playing, because I've already sat and thought about this for several months, whereas Spook and Stanji were kind of making their characters sort of there. Which meant it was kind of dull when they were like, it's your turn. And I was like, well, I already know what I want to do, so I'm not going to roll anything.
I've already done it.
I already know what I want to play and things like that, so I'm not gonna roll anything. And then they were like, well, tell us. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna tell you because it's it's a surprise. And then they got grumpier and they were like, we don't like surprises because they always screw people over. And I'm like, no, they don't. You just had one bad experience. Wah.
Music's way too shut off for what I'm doing right now.
I'm sorry, I got too excited. To be fair, that bit was both me and Spook. He just hadn't thought about it much else. Both me and Spook were like, but what if kids? And then we got as far as a boy and a girl, the boy being like Amara and the girl being more like Alistair, and that was kind of as far as we got. And then I was like, but what if I went further? And then just made a character. See, that's the thing, that's why Spook doesn't write backstories for that reason. Because we make backstories because we like having that fun bit of drama, but he's like, I don't want to write something that's just going to fuck me over in game. That's not fun for me. So I don't write a backstory, and I was like, we are different people.
Cannot relate.
Cannot relate. I mean, obviously everybody is welcome to, you know, everybody likes their own things in D&D, as we know. But it was just one of those things where it was like, we're very different.
Yes.
Yeah. Literally his reaction when I was like, I've already written a backstory was, oh no. And I was like, what? He was like, this is going to result in me getting screwed over, and it's going to be out of my control, which is what I hate. And I was like, that's not
Yes,
fair.
correct.
That's
You
not
are a
fair.
player. Come to the life, buddy.
Don't be mean.
Might nerf that.
I suppose that's why you have session zeros, because it's one of those things where it's like, well, just because, you know, the four of us all like this thing, doesn't mean that he does.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where when you think about it, we never really had a session zero, because we didn't know what a session zero was.
Yeah. I think a lot about this now, these days. Especially with OCART and stuff, like I feel like I've learned a lot as a DM. So like having that first session of being like, this is the kind of game I want to run, like what kind of game do you guys want to play? It's huge. 300? Jesus.
To be fair though, I do have to take Spook's side of it, because a small part of him is bitter that he couldn't get a resolute ending for Alistair through no fault of anybody, just through the fault of his frickin' work schedule. And he said to me himself that it does still grate him, that he feels like he hasn't had closure.
Yeah.
Because he just came home from work one day and it was like, you're alive and the campaign's ended, and he was like,
yeah,
cool.
Guys.
Cool. Yeah. I could have just as easily not been here for that.
Das, I got a 61 and a 50.
So I appreciate that, but when he told me it, I kind of blinked and I was like, wow, I feel kind of shitty because it literally hadn't crossed my mind, but it totally makes sense now that you say it. Yeah, you didn't really get that because of work, and it's
How scheduling goes,
and it
yeah.
majorly sucks.
It's fucking shitty as hell. Okay.
But he said himself that he would much rather form cool moments and memories in the game, not have it all written in a Google Doc
definitely.
beforehand.
I've talked to people before, and I kind of agree to some extent. You shouldn't have too much backstory. Having is one thing, writing a backstory so that you have threads loose deliberately, that you have things to either pursue or to pursue you. I think having a backstory that's too like defined and also closed and resolved is pointless.
Yeah.
At that point, you should just write a book.
Yeah. Oh damn, we've got quite a ways on with this tonight.
Yeah. Good time. Sorted. Ugh.
Exactly, Core. Backstory is things that make me sad, but that causes drama.
It's about the drama.
If you watched any film or played any game or read any book where the main character didn't have a thing that caused them distress in some way, it would probably be exceedingly dull. That is what creates interesting scenarios.
I will not go off about this as an English student.
Yep. I mean, and
As I'm
in that regard, I
retired.
will raise my hand that, playing Dalmara, I was very standoffish and was like, like, I have an edgy backstory. Okay, you gonna talk to us about it? No.
No.
So I appreciate there were certain situations where I was being very standoffish, but at the same time, it often felt like I wasn't being encouraged.
It's true. Wait, are we calling this tonight or no?
Yeah, I think so. Put the chair layer back on.
Hello, Sanji.
Stan,
What are
you
you
say
wrapping
to
up?
do a health check before we go.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up because Spook wants this game to install, so I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep right away.
I'm also very tired.
Yeah, we'll end the stream here, but damn, look at that. If that ain't almost half looking like a nearly finished picture.
Yeah, you're getting there.
I think next week I'm gonna have to tackle the chair, even though it's not very interesting.
This week is the week of shit that's not very interesting.
Yeah, because the chair is the only thing that is now a flat color. Everything else has got like shading on it in some regard. It's like Tala probably needs more tweaking still because I don't know.
Yeah, well, detailing is a different thing.
Yeah.
This is just getting in.
Yeah, like two of the cuts on the table are obviously missing because I wanted to finish the hands. Now the hands are in place, so I can do those instead. But the chair is the main thing. Save.
Yeah. Death is a whole ass barbarian from the stream.
Heck yeah.
I did a decent amount actually.
Dope. We'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see my parents
Great.
tomorrow. Should be good.
Hey. Great.
Alright.
Bye, people.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Bye.
Bye bye. Mwah. We'll see you tomorrow.
D&D
for
tomorrow.
D&D tomorrow. Should I click the raid button? I never do this.
Raid?
Is there anyone? Is there anybody to raid? There isn't. There isn't really anybody to raid.
There's 6 people who I follow who are live currently.
No, nobody that I follow is really live. Never mind. We'll leave it for next time.
The Lion's live.
Is it? That's weird. I follow him and he's not on my. Oh, dope. That's so weird. Maybe they just limit it.
A moderator view's got a special thing that tells me who else is live.
Sure. Screw it.
6 people I follow who are live. Dodger's live,
Yeah.
Lion's live.
Let's raid Lying.
Yeah.
Let's go visit Lying and say hi. Everybody go say hi to
Yeah.
Lying and give him some woos.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye everybody. Mwah.
Bye.
I've never done this before.